Good morning and welcome to the program. This is your Business Morning. We're live to you from Lagos here on Channels Television. Today is Thursday, the 24th of August. I am Bosin number 5. Let's get the show started. Of course, the big story, big business story out of Abuja, the country's political capital today, is the Ibe Kachiku's Petroleum Ministry unveiling a new low-cost credit, $200 million Nigerian Content Investment Fund been put together in partnership with the Bank of Industry. This is what the Kachiku's Ministry and the BOI are planned to achieve. Of course, we all know about the Nigeria Local Content Development Board and, of course, the decree or the law that set that up. The idea was to ensure that Nigerians take the commanding heights and provide everything that could be sourced locally into the oil and gas industry and, in fact, every other sector of the economy. But the oil and gas was the bedrock of the content development. But funding had been one key issue. So the BOI and the Kachiku's Ministry of Petroleum have found some way around it. So they put together this new set of money, $200 million, and that will be at a very low cost to local contractors. So if any one of you is interested in doing business in the oil and gas industry, you need to watch this development taking place right now in Abuja. What the new NCIF, what you call the Nigeria Content Investment Fund, looks to achieve is to finance manufacturing facilities of goods used in the oil and gas industry. In other words, this is to manufacture the goods that are used in the oil and gas industry. And these include acquisition of oil assets like oil rigs, marine vessels, and things like that. So if you want to do this business and you are indigenous, that is 100% Nigerian, then you can approach the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and, of course, the Bank of Industry to get this low-cost credit. That's number one. Number two, if you want funding for contract financing for projects in the oil and gas, that is what this money is also for. And for those who are in the oil communities in the Niger Delta, who are also contractors, local contractors in the oil-based Niger Delta, and who wants to finance contracts that are given to them by oil companies, whether they are the majors or the service companies, they can also get part of this $200 million. And if you already have contracts, but you need what you call a refinancing of some of the loans you've already taken, perhaps from banks, you'll also be part of this new multi-billion naira deal, final funding being unveiled today. This is ramping up Nigeria's local content contribution into the very juicy oil and gas business in Nigeria. But let's move on to the other news in the industry. Shell Petroleum Development Company, called the SPDC, says gas production has commenced at the Gbaranube Phase 3 gas facility on the completion of a key project that was announced on Wednesday, and that will, of course, increase Nigeria's total gas output, which, of course, we have a lot more in gas than we ever have in petroleum. Meantime, at the downside, what's called the downstream part of the business, the Federal Inland Revenue, according to a media report yesterday, shut the Apapa Lagos facility of mid-cap listed oil trader MRS over allegations that this listed oil company is owing about 500 million naira in tax arrears to the federal authorities. Of course, MRS is listed on the stock exchange. Meantime, one good news again. Yesterday, of course, the tax issue was not good news, by the way. If you're owing the government, then that's not good news. That's bad news. But we have another good news as far as the Niger Dock is concerned. So the Niger Dock, Nigeria, and you know, those folks are the Snake Island, I've been there once, says the National Human Capacity Development Training in vocational skills have been completed for Nigerians, young Nigerians, who will be part of the 200,000 barrels per day Egina Deepwater Floating Facility Project called the FPSO. That stands for Floating Project Storage Facility. That big vessel of course, which was a major contract with the South Koreans, and part of it done here by Niger Dock and Ladol, both of them Lagos backwaters. Now, that's the human capital training, vocational training for Nigerians who will be part of that project has now been completed. And that was checked out yesterday and given commendation by the Local Content Development Board top executive. And that's one good news about ramping up jobs and skills for the local Nigerians, the indigents here. Okay, I think we're done with the oil and gas stories. We have a lot more in commodities later on. But let's get to one of the earnings that we've been waiting for over the last couple of months. One of the late reports from Access Bank. Well, this is a little bit mixed as we got it late yesterday afternoon. This Tier 1 commercial lender, there are 5 of them. We've got the numbers from GT Bank as well as Zenith. Now we have Access. We're waiting for UBA to report. So Access reported strong double-digit revenue growth in pre-provision profits of 25% year-on-year. That means the revenue came in double digits. That was the figure before the bank made provisioning for bad loans. That's a growth of 25% on revenue, what we call gross income. According to this report, Access Bank also reported a non-interest income that's up 30% year-on-year. That's if you compare second quarter 2017 with second quarter of 2016. Funding income was healthier by almost 20%, also a year-on-year figure. Good news, loan loss provisions by Access Bank was also down by 8%. That is the amount the bank sets aside as provisioning for loans it gives out to customers, those who are delinquent or what you call non-performing loans provisioning. The amount is down by 8% on his books of accounts. Then you have the operating expenses.